Tell me my audio, video all clear. Join as fast as you can, all the students. So today we are going to learn about data structure, right? How much your students will get? Yeah, give me the thumbs up in chat and join fast. Share the link to everyone. My screen is visible. Yeah, so today we are going to discuss something about data structure, algorithm, flowchart, pseudo codes, and type of data structure. That's all. Because it is the first class, we keep our discussion too simple and too basic, and we have to understand what is data structure exactly and why we are learning it, because it is a very important concept. Even if you prepare for UGC NET, GATE, or semester exam, as well as for your placement, it is the very important concept, right? But these are our advantages. I mean, we think like that. But why computer need data structure? If you think you are a programmer, you know coding, then how can you say you are a great programmer and your coding will be always good? That means just doing coding. Just, Hello everyone, am I audible? Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so where we are? We are discussing about programming, right? Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Uh, Actually, today's session is about data structure, right? And we are thinking how we can implement. And if we are saying that I'm a great programmer, a good programmer, so we have to do effective programming, right? And for doing effective programming, we have to implement data structure in your programming. And what is data structure and how we can implement, right? We have to think. Suppose this is YouTube, right? And in this YouTube that much software is going on, right? The streaming, as well as you can comment, like, and chat in live chat, right? Send emojis, that much features. But how it will include there? We have to understand it, right? The all data is managed where, I mean, this video is going to record and it's placed on the some database. So all data, how it going to be organized? It's also the concept of database, I mean DBMS, database management system. But in DBMS we are also using algorithm, right? So I'm going to share the slide again, right? We can discuss. So I have good audio, ma'am. Yeah, so we already discussed the data structure is way of organizing and storing data in memory. And here we are talking about memory. In computer system, if you talk about memory, we always think about the smallest storage devices like register, RAM, ROM. These are the things. But if we are talking about secondary memories, we always saying it's a storage device, right? But I'm not going to deeper in that concept. We will discuss in COA. But we have to store data, right, in this memory, and there are very less memory. So how we can organize the everything and our program going to run efficiently? And this is the use of data structure, right? What's the use? the way of organizing and storing data. But what and how? Suppose I throw everything in my room, suppose, and I want to find some of the book. How can I find? It's take much time or less time? Tell me. Tell me in the chat. Yeah, more time, right? And everyone knows it, right? This type of conditions always come if we are not organizing our books and clothes and everything. We It took much time to find anything. But if you organize all of the things, we can easily access that. We know which one is where, and we can pick easily. And the same concept we have to apply in computer science, right? So we are going to organize the data to access, update, and process efficiently. And for this purpose, we are using data structure. And what is data structure? It is a way, we can say it is a technique to organize. Suppose in your drawer or cupboard, there have not much space, but you want to organize the file. How you organize? Suppose this is your cupboard and you have much books. And if you keep many more, okay, if you keep one by one like this is the one method. And someone put the book like this, right? If you saw in library, they keep all the books horizontally, not horizontally, they keep the books vertically, right? Why they are keeping like this? Can anyone answer? In our place we always keep books, not always but more of the time we always keep books like this one. But in library we saw that all books are keeping like this. So why this type of organization they do? We can organize books much more, I mean in less space we can organize more book in this way. But why they are keeping like this? Because in this way it is not more accessible. I mean if I have to find one of the book for algorithm and that book is placed here. Suppose the book is placed here, so I have to remove one and one book and then I can find this book, right, in this organization. But if I organize the book like this, I can read the name of all books and easily pick the books. That means the process, the accessing time is less here, right? We can easily access. Ease of access of books if we organize like this type. So there are the method, right, to organizing the books. In library, at home, we have, if less space, we organize like this. And if you want to access fastly, we organize like this. So the same concept is going in data structure. We have to write some program that going to say to our devices to how store and access the data, right? Yeah, understand everyone? And because we know we have now much space in our devices, now that device have much space, but sometime it less. So we are more focused on time of access. And the second one is space. But space is not that much required nowadays because our devices are more compatible with space. But we have to focus on time. That means if you are writing any code, we consider it have to be happen fastly, and it going to fetch the data fastly also, right? So we have to focus on two things if we are making any program or doing any type of coding. It have to be optimized in a space and time. So now the question is, what is data structure? Everybody understood? Tell me in chat, guys, what is data structure? Can you define in one word or one sentence? Okay, Malini is saying organize the data. Very good. But then what about DVMS? Database management system is also doing same things. But for DVMS also we are going to use some data structure, right? So your answer is to correct. How data is stored? Okay. And any two or three example of data structure? We already know. What we can say? Maybe you are using arrays, star, queue, linked list, trees, and much more, right? And we know why do we need data structure, because organizing the data like that it is accessible in time, right? So we have that things, I mean, whenever we are going to use data structure, the our goal is organize the data very efficiently in less space, it is accessible in less time, and easier to process it. Yeah, tree graph are also the data structure. Nice to see this. Okay, so these are the answer, right? We already discussed the data structure is method of organizing data, and we need data structure to store data properly and perform operation quickly. And what are the operation we are going to perform on data? Which type of operation we are going to perform? Can anyone tell me? Yeah, these are the operation we are going to do, right? Insertion, deletion, modification, which is updation, we can say, uh, tra- traversal. Okay, so all the things we are going to do, but how? It is the method, and the method is built by something different word, which is known as algorithm. I mean, whatever you are going to write in program, we design our procedure to how to write. We design the process to do the things, and this procedure, that procedure is known as algorithm. Suppose you want to make any dishes, right? Maybe I'll give this example some another time in another concept. If you want to make Maggie or something, you have some process, right? You are chopping the vegetables, roasting it, boil the Maggie, then mix it, right? So this is one of the process, a step by step procedure. So this is the method to prepare Maggie. As like that, you have to design the method to solve the problems. So method to solving problems is known as algorithm. Simple things. What is algorithm? The step by step procedure or method, we can say, which can solve the problem, and it can be different according to problems. If we design the algorithm for one process or one problem, and the similar kind of problem is happen in our life again and again, so we know the procedure how to solve it, right? So this is the reason that why we are designing much more algorithm applied. Because if you are going to understand more deeply in AI or something, you know the A star algorithm. But it was not there. I mean, in previous time, the A star algorithm is not available. But when it comes, the concept of data science or AI, we have to make some procedure according to that. So we can make the algorithm according to our problems. Okay. Suppose here the example of a step to find largest number in the list. Suppose I have list 1, 2, 9, 4. How can you find the largest number? Can anyone tell me? How can you find? I mean, answer in the chat. There are some procedure, right? If you pick the first number, you are going to check with second one, which one is greater, right? And then if you got this number is greater, then you are going to compare this number with this, right? Which one is greater? Then you find this number is greater, then you're going to compare this number with this, and if this number is greater, you can say that this is the largest number in the list. So you are going to step by step procedures, step by step checking and compare two numbers together, and you will find out the largest number, right? So if you design this and writing as an algorithm step, we are going to compare first number to second one, and then if we have the first number, then we are going to compare first number with third number. If we have second number, then we are going to compare second number with third number, right? Search For comparison, why we are going to use searching algorithm now? Actually, searching algorithm is not for the finding largest number, right? If we have the given number, if I have to search for one, then I can apply searching, right? Yeah, sorting is gonna to be help here, because if we sort the numbers and we find out the first number at first place, we can say this is the largest number. So if you want to find the largest number, we can do sorting, not searching. Okay. So now we understand what is algorithm, characteristics of good algorithm, and what is mean by finite in algorithm. This is the question. Finite. We already discussed algorithm is a step by step procedure, right? And two characteristics of good algorithm. How can we say our algorithm is good enough to apply? We can say easy to implement, it have to be effective. I mean problem solver. If we design an algorithm and it not going to solve the problem perfectly, how we can say this algorithm is good, right? So it have to be like optimizing the resources and effective problem solving. Okay, so it have to be finite step. Oh, sorry, I didn't deal about the finite. I mean third question. What the mean by finite in an algorithm? If we write the algorithm and it's just going on infinitely, like the infinite loop, how we can get the answer? I mean the steps have to be finite. We cannot do the same things much more time. So algorithm have to be clear, finite and correct output. This is needed, efficient, and limited number of steps for finite. I've discussed it, right? So now we are going to understand about the flowchart. You know already about whatever we learn in algorithm, right? Using symbol and symbols, we can design that. It's called a flowchart. Like if you say we are going to compare two number or three numbers, suppose we are going to compare three numbers, what we can do? Firstly, compare A to B. If A is greater, what it give? If A is greater, then I'm going to compare A to C. And if B is, then going to compare B to C. Then if A is again greater than A is the answer, and B is again greater than B is the answer. Or if not A, then C is the answer. If not B, then C is the answer, right? So we can design it like a flowchart. We have some input number, right? We can start it. Some input number. We can compare A is greater than B. If yes, then again compare A to C. And if no, then again we will going to compare because here A is not greater. The meaning is no. That means B is greater, right? we can conclude from the one operation only, right? So B is the greater here. So we are going to compare B to C. If A is greater, then A is the output and answer, and if B is greater, then B is the answer. If not, I mean, here also we can conclude. If yes, then A is the answer. If no, then C is the answer. And here also, if no, then C is the answer. And if yes, then B is the answer, right? So we can say this is the pictorial representation of our algorithm, whatever we have discussed, right? So this is the flowchart, nothing but the pictorial or graphical representation of algorithm. We already understand what is algorithm. This is the method of solving the problems. And if you can solve the problem, we can use some symbols to make flowchart. Okay. For decision, we use diamond box. I already used here. Okay. A rectangle for process, and start and end with oval symbol. This, because sometimes we don't like to read the much more steps in algorithm. So if it is a pictorial representation, we can understand it easily. That's why we are using flowchart. Okay. I don't know. I should have to discuss these things. I mean, you already know what is flowchart now. And the pseudo code, it's a simple written form of algorithm. Whatever we write in the easy language or English language, and whatever your language, right? If you write the step one, step two like this, then it is called as a pseudo code. And if you use that things in pictorial representation, it's a flowchart. Now the very important concept come in the slide, because whatever we have discussed, these are the very basic concept, even if you are know already all about that. But now we have to discuss the types of data structure, like, and from this some of the question is asked in the UGC NET. Sometimes the match the following question, and sometimes the simple one liner they can ask. So first discuss primitive or basic data structure. What are the primitive data structure? As you know, primitive means oldest. I mean, it is already included and the very basic data structure. Int, char, float, double, boolean. We define a like int, and we are saying that it is what? It is a data type. But is the type of data? But we define these things already in our program. Suppose you are using C programming, it's already defined what the meaning of int and how it's going to store this variable. What the range of int, as the range of int is 127, right? In this range, we can give the variable for int. So this all the things are already defined, and it is very basic. We are going to use always it to make another data structure, right? And now the derive. What about derive? It's also built in. I mean, it is built in the language library, and also derived data structure is also built in the language library. But using this basic data structure, we can implement this. The derived data structure can be vary in different programming language, right? If you are using C or Python, you have list, right? A list is not in C. And also set you can use in Python. So these are the derived data structure. That means the data structure which we can build using primitive data structure. Simply we can say, what are the derived data structure? It is built via using primitive data structure, but it's already defined in language library. Okay. Now the user defined data structure. User defined means it's not available in language library, right? Primitive data structure and derived both are available in language library, whatever the language you are using, C, Python, Java, Go, whatever. But the user defined data structure we can define using this data structure, like a structure, union, class. Maybe all of you already use that, a structure and a union more with the C and C++. And class, whenever I'm saying class, one of the programming languages always come in my mind is Java, because it's fully object oriented programming. That means without class you cannot create any program of Java. So the user defined data structure we can define using this or according to our requirement, right? Now talk about linear and non-linear data structure. If you are going to understand the concept about the linear, first data is come, then the second, then the third one. I mean, we have the order like this, not more, not less. I mean, if you are here, you can find something right or something left, or you can say simply you can find only one right or only one left. You are the slide. So these are the linear data structure. If you are discuss about arrays, all the data like this. In linked list, one data have something. Yeah, linked list we can include as a derived data structure because it is not a just not using the primitive type, right? Here the pointer node, and then the second one, then the third one. It's also linear, right? Because we this can find here and there. I mean one by one only. So whenever the one by one in sequence, always we can say it's a linear data structure. And what about non-linear? Simply you can say if you find more than one, right? If the node is connected to each other, not only one or only two, it's more than that. In simple word, what you can say, the linear have to be in sequence, and non-linear don't have the sequence. It connected with the many nodes like tree and graph. So we already discussed primitive data type, right? In float, answer in chat all the questions you can answer. Give one example of derived data structure. All of you there? Array is array list stock. Okay. These are the derived data structure. Let's start. Good. And the user defined data structure. Now the third question. Stuck, union, and classes. Okay, ma'am. And difference between linear and non-linear data structure. I already explained all of that, right? Tell me, linear have to be in sequence one by one, right? And non-linear, in simple way, we can say the linear data structure have only one parent and child, and in non-linear, we have more than one. Yeah. Okay. We discuss all of that. Now, the main data structure when the class going to start, these are the things is important whatever I've discussed, because sometimes they ask the question from the basic concept. And now we are moving on the actual use of data structure and how we can implement. So what is array? We already discussed it's a linear data structure, it's a derived data structure, but how we can build and define an array and where we can use it. The main question is where we can use it. Suppose I have some data 1, 2, 4, 9, 10, 2, 21 something, and I wanna search 9. I wanna search the 9 at which location. If I'm using linked list is always connected with another one. So if I'm going to search 9 and my data is stored in linked list, I have to go one, then second one, then third one, then fourth one, again and again. So it's take time, right? It's a tedious process in linked list. So whenever you want to access the data faster or search it, we have to use arrays, fast access and simple storage, right? It is the advantage and the main characteristics of array. Why you are using array? That means after learning all the data structure, you're not gonna to be memorize and saying that these are the data structure. According to your situations, you can implement the data structure as like the need. Sometimes we don't need searching, we want the link all the data, because if sometime you build one of the form to students to fill that, they have to be go with the step by step, right? Not jump on there. So on that case, you have to use linked list. But if they have the functionality and need to jump on, then we are using array to fast access. So according to our situation, we can implement the data structure, right? So now what is array? We already much discuss about the array and we know how we can write it. Suppose the index is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the all data is stored in a sequence and in continuous manner, one, then second one. The index is going to increase plus 1, plus 1, plus 1 only. It's not like 0, 5, 3. It it not can be indexed in array. Yeah, sometimes a student thinks like the array always start with the zero index. Answer in chat. Array have to be start with zero index or not? Is any slide there? Index of array. Tell me the answer. I mean, answer in the chat. Sorry, because I have practiced on that. No? So index of array start with 0, or it can be any number, or it can be start with the minus infinity. Okay, I got one answer as 0. And second one, answer this as fast as you can. So the index of array 0 from beginning and minus 1 if we want to get reverse. Yeah, minus 1 we are using in Python to get reverse, but I'm asking about we can define or not. For array we can define any number actually. The default case, in default case, it going to start with 0, but array can be any index according to ourselves. I mean, we can define, but it have to be contiguous, right? If I have an array 2, 4, 3, 9, and my index going to start with minus 2, minus 1, 0, and 1. So it can be possible as an index of array. It can be possible as an index of array. It have to be contiguous. It have to be contiguous. It doesn't matter it start with 0, minus 1 or 1. Yeah. But in default case, if this question will come and no any answer like that, so you have to choose 0. In default case, it's always start with 0. And also it can be vary according to another programming language. Some other programming language do not support the minus number as an index, so it's depend on the programming language, right? But in data structure, what we called about array, their index can be any number, it have to be contiguous. A given index is positive number used to access an element. It is positive number, but in C programming, it's a positive number. You can use any other number. I already clear it, right? In some language only, okay? Now what we have learned, what is data structure, what is algorithm, flowchart, pseudocode, and array, right? And I have to continue it. I mean, we will discuss about the array, much more questions from the array in next class. This is the basic class. Now you have the ideas about data structure, how you can implement and where it is useful, right? And we will discuss about array in detail in next class. Okay, thank you everyone. Yeah, next class you have to be ready with that. I mean, these are the simple concept, you know. Then in next class, if you are going to implement, you feel like why you are using that. If any question you can ask. If you have any question regarding this, you can ask in chat. Shall I wind up? Okay, thank you everyone.